Hello everyone. Today I thought I would do something a little bit different. I'm going to do a little tips video. I'm going to share with you 10 tips for online shopping. Now we're all kind of doing more online shopping at the moment, especially with Corona. No one really wants to kind of go to the shops if you can help it. Also, you can't try anything on in shops, so it kind of defeats the point of going into a shop, because that's kind of what you like to do when you go shopping. So I thought I would give you guys some tips on how to shop online and what to look out for, what the best practices, what I find useful, to hopefully help you guys when you're online shopping. Now with Christmas drawing closer, there's more opportunities to be shopping, and I think you kind of want to know what you're looking for and know how to shop, rather than just buying things because it's online and just do it. So hopefully these tips are useful for you, and without further ado, I'm going to get into it and share my online shopping tips. Tip number 1 is open all of the things you like in new tabs. Now sounds kind of weird, but I know a lot of people don't shop like this. It's just a way I find very, very useful. When I'm scrolling through Topshop, for example, I will right click and open it in a new tab. Before I even look at it, I'll be like, I like that, open a new tab. I find this to be so useful because you can go through the whole of the new in page, go through every page on the website that you're interested in, open everything in a new tab, and then once you've been like, okay, I've opened quite a lot of tabs now, I think I've got quite a few things I like, you can then go into each tab and be like, do I like this? No, exit that one. Oh, I like this one, I'll add that to the bag. Oh, I like this one. Oh no, don't like that one. And then you've got all of the tabs in one place, and it still adds it into the same basket. So it's not like you've got loads of separate baskets. It still adds all the items into the same basket. Basically, you've kind of given yourself time to look at everything. I think sometimes when you online shop, it's very easy to get into the habit of scrolling through the new in page, clicking an item. Oh yeah, I like that, add to my bag, going to the next, going to the next item, clicking that. Oh yeah, I like that, rather than actually thinking about it. And with this day and age, I think it's important when you're looking at things online that you're really like thinking about it, not going, oh yeah, I'll have that, I'll have that, unless that's the kind of mood that you're in. But yeah, I find it really, really useful, and it actually helps me to cut down the amount of things that I am putting in my basket. Because for instance, you open 2 tops that are both black and they're very similar, it stops you from putting 2 tops in your basket that are the same, because you're seeing them like as you're going through it, you're remembering what you're putting in rather than doing it as you're going through the website, if that makes sense. Very useful. I love that. I will do it every time I shop. Doesn't matter where I'm shopping, it doesn't matter if I'm picking out items for a collaboration, always open it in a new tab. Tip number 2 is to always look at the size the model is wearing. Some websites don't do it, and it's so annoying because I don't understand why you wouldn't put the size that the model wears. But usually the model is always wearing either a size small, a size 8 or a size 10. Usually. Not always, but usually. So you can kind of guesstimate if they don't have it. But always look at the size of the model, because it will then give you the kind of, you can start to visualize, okay, well that woman is a size small. So if you're a size large, for example, you can be like, right, well she's wearing a size small and it fits her that way. So if I get my size, it should fit me exactly the same, technically. Obviously everyone's different, nothing's going to look the same on everyone. But that's kind of my way of thinking when I'm looking at it. Look at the size of the model. Okay, for me, for example, I see the model's wearing a small and I'm like, I like my coats to be a little bit more oversized. Say she's wearing a jacket, and she's wearing a small and it fits her kind of a little bit oversized, not too much. I am someone who, I usually look at the model and have to think, well, I'm shorter, I'm smaller, I'm more of a petite person, so how will that item sit on someone like me? And I have to try and visualize it. It's very hard, but you have to try and visualize how you would see that item on you. And if you think that item would suit you. It doesn't always work out that way, but that's kind of how I think about it, and usually I kind of get it right, but it does take a bit of practice. I've been doing this for years, so I kind of know what to look out for. But if you're someone who's like online shopping, just look at the size of the model and really think about how the model's wearing it. Obviously none of us, well, some of us look like models, but a lot of us don't look like models. So you just have to visualize, right? So the model looks like that. If I was to put that item on, how do I think it will fit me? And then hopefully you'll kind of work out what size you want if it doesn't tell you. I kind of just touched on this tip, but it is to visualize the height of the model in comparison to you. Now, everything you buy will look different on every person. So the model might be wearing a pair of really lovely wide leg trousers and they look fabulous on her. They fit at the right length, look great. Look at how tall the model is. Usually they're around 5'8", maybe a bit taller. And look at where that item is sitting on the model. For instance, if you're buying a pair of trousers and they hit the floor on the model, most likely if you're shorter than that, they're not going to hit you like that. So you have to think, well, am I prepared to shorten that item? Am I prepared to spend more money on making it fit me? Do I like it enough? Again, another thing to look out for, to make sure that you're buying it because you really want it, not buying it because you've seen other people wear it or you feel the need to have it. I really find it quite useful with coats. I am 5'2.5", I'm not tall at all, and when a model is 5'8", 5'9", and they're wearing a coat that hits them below the knee, I know for a fact that that coat is going to hit me towards my ankles. Now, for me, I'm kind of not that fussed with coat lengths. As long as it doesn't like hit the floor, I'm kind of okay, because I don't mind a long coat. But I know if you're someone who is shorter than me and you're wanting a coat, but that coat's clearly going to be too long, you can kind of visualize it, because if it's long on the model, it's going to be long on you. If you're tall, you're fine. But that's kind of how I think about it. If it's long on that model, either I would size down to make it fit me, or I just wouldn't buy it because it's going to be hitting the floor, and what's the point of having a coat that hits the floor, you know? My next tip is to look at all of the product images for that item and look at the texture of the fabric, the colour, how it looks, does it look comfortable, does it look like the fabric I think it will be, and obviously look at the details in the description, because it will usually say exactly what the fabric is, in case you're wondering. Like, for instance, it won't tell you this is a jersey fabric, but it might say it in the name of the item. Sometimes you will look at a dress, for example, and you will think that is going to be so nice, it's going to be a really lovely kind of lightweight, easy breezy fabric, and you get it and it's like a really cheap jersey material. You can kind of work it out. If you look closely enough at the images, you can work out what sort of fabric it is, and then you won't be disappointed when you get the item and you find, oh, actually it's not the material I thought it was. So really, like, take your time and look at the images. If you look close enough and zoom in and stuff, you can see the type of fabric it is. You can work it out. If you're ever stuck, just kind of think about, well, how, if that's quite tight and it's hanging that way, is that the kind of material I want on my body? I find it most useful when something is like tight fitting, or I want a really nice dress in a certain fabric, I have a vision. Sometimes you look at a dress and you're like, that is beautiful, and you go on it and you're like, oh god, the material's not for me, and it just stops you from buying things that you don't like and having to return them. So really look at the materials, look at the texture of it. The more you do it, the more you'll understand what fabrics are what. I kind of know, because I went to uni and studied fashion and we knew a lot about fabric. But yeah, just look at the materials, see what it says. Obviously, usually it will just tell you this is 100% polyester, which is no use really, but you can kind of gauge it-ish. Next up, if you find an item that you really, really like, and you're like, oh, the price is a little bit, do I want to buy it for that price? Shop around, have a look at every other website that might sell that item. For instance, you really like a cream coat, go onto every single website and see if they have a similar cream coat for maybe cheaper, or one that doesn't hurt your bank account as much. Sometimes you will see something and you will fall in love with the item, and you'll look everywhere else and you'll find similar things, but they're just not that item. But if you're someone who's like, oh, I really like this style of coat, but 70 quid is far too much money, have a look around, have a look at different shops, go into like shops like Primark or have a look on Depop. Look for something that's perhaps similar, that gives the same look, that's a bit cheaper. There is no point, if you're someone who's really wanting to find something that fits your budget, there is no point just going for the first thing you see, because you can often find items for a really, really good price that you may not have looked at if you hadn't shopped around. So look at all of the websites that you can think of, and I usually go for all high street stuff. I'm not a designer clothing shopping person, but you know, go through all of them, have a look at them all. Maybe you saw something on Instagram that you really, really liked, but you know you can't afford that. Just shop around, have a look, type it into the search bar, cream coat, and see what comes up. You never know, you might find something that you like even better. But yeah, shop around, because you can find some amazing pieces for way cheaper than another shop that look very, very similar. Like H&M is a really good place to go if you're ever stuck and like, oh, I really want this kind of basic top, I can't find one in my size, or I can't find one I like. H&M's a good place to go for in terms of price as well. But yeah, always shop around, because you'll most likely find something you love even better. Next up is discounts. Now, discounts can be very, very misleading, because the minute a 20% off is on that website, you're like, well, I need to buy things now. And that's not the best way to think about it, but it can be very useful when you're going to shop things, especially at the moment where we have to shop online to be able to really get the best items. It's nice to have that bit of discount so that you can be like, well, I don't feel like I've spent as much money. Even if you know you're going to send stuff back, it can be a little bit better on the old bank balance. But yeah, discounts are amazing. They really, really will help you to be able to buy something that perhaps you weren't really sure on, or maybe just help you buy that item that you've been dying to buy for ages. One place that always does discounts is Misguided. A lot of discounts will happen towards Black Friday, Cyber Week, that time of year. So if you see something you like, maybe hold out, see if they'll have a discount for then. But shops usually have discounts all the time. It's just kind of like making the most of discounts, but also using them wisely and not spending all of your money just because they have 20% off, which I have done in the past. We don't need to do that. Just buy a few things, just buy things you like. Don't force yourself to buy things just because there's discount. There is literally no point, because you end up like not wearing the items. So just buy things you need, or that you want and that you like and that you can afford, and use your discount wisely. My next tip is to remember that things don't look the same as they do on the model. And I say this because a lot of the time a model will be wearing, say, a pair of trousers, and they fit them perfectly around the waist. They're really like, they look like they kind of go in and then they go out. 9 times out of 10 it's pinned at the back to hold it in, to make it look perfect. And it's something that I think a lot of people don't really realise. When a model is wearing something, usually it is made to look absolutely perfect on them, and you won't see, but there's like clips down the back of them, or there might be like, they might have done something special to make it look a little bit more, or they might have even taped something down to hold that in place. Things don't always look like they do on the model. They're trying to sell you the item, so they're going to try and make it look as good as they can. So it's just something to know when you're looking at something. Don't think, oh, that looks absolutely perfect. Think about the item. Think about, right, okay, well, she's wearing this very nice pair of tailored looking trousers. I think they will look pretty decent on me. I'm going to buy them. Just don't imagine that they're going to look like they do on the model, because they just don't. It's kind of a bit of a lie, really. So just look at the item and want it for yourself, and want it because you feel like that will suit you, not because you want to look like the model, because it just won't happen. Like the amount of times that when I used to work in social media, not doing this as my job, and like you'd have to pin things and make them fit, and it's just not as perfect as it looks. My next tip is, when you're shopping at a new brand that you've never shopped at before, that you're really intrigued by, that you're like, I want to buy things from here, but I have no idea what size I am, watch YouTube videos, because you will start to find exactly what it is in terms of sizing, in terms of what to look out for, the quality of the items. just by watching a YouTube video. You can also read reviews. I find it so useful to see other people's opinions of a brand, not necessarily to change my opinion or to stop me from buying there, but just to learn a little bit about how their experience is with the brand. For instance, when I first shopped from Shein, I watched a load of videos just to kind of gauge, one, the delivery, two, the quality, is it worth me buying anything from there? And in the end, I was like, actually, it's not too bad, I think I'll buy something, and it was fine. So definitely like use the fact that YouTube is there and watch a couple of people's reviews of the brand. Usually there's constantly people like posting reviews of brands or doing a haul, so you can kind of learn a little bit more about it. Obviously, for instance, say you've never shopped at Mango and you're like, well, there's no one doing a review of Mango, just watch some hauls and just see like what they're saying about the quality, about the price. Often people will say like, oh well, I love this but it's a little bit expensive for this, or I don't know whether I'll keep it because the quality isn't there, you know. So I find it really useful to watch other people talking about items that they've bought, especially if it's a shop that I don't shop from that much, because then you can learn a little bit about the brand and how their items fit and the quality of their items. My last tip is to just take your time. Shopping can be quite intense and it can be quite difficult, especially online, because you can't try the item on, so you're literally guessing whether it's going to fit you, and you do have to like prepare yourself for the process of returning it in case it doesn't fit. So just take your time with it, like enjoy the process of shopping, like open the tabs like I said before, you know, like really look at the items, make sure they're items that you want. If you're a bit like, I really want to buy these things but I don't want to buy them just for the sake of it, open all the tabs and have all the tabs you open if you've got like loads of different ones from different shops, and think about it. And if you're still thinking about that item like a day or two later, then purchase it. Obviously some things sell out, so it can be a bit difficult, but really think about it. Like, don't just go down the homepage and add things in, new in page, add things in and just buy, because impulse buying is where you'll find the most disasters when shopping, because you're not thinking about it, you're not thinking about what you want, you're not thinking about how it's going to look on you, you're just literally like impulse shopping. And impulse online shopping is the worst. I have done it many a time. I've bought home things and been like, why did I buy that? It doesn't fit, it's not the right size. Or bought something and been like, why did I do that? That was just stupid, why didn't I think about it? It's the worst. Do not impulse shop, but just enjoy it and take your time, because you'll find it more rewarding. Rewarding, is that the right word? More rewarding and enjoyable if you do it that way. And it will just make it more exciting when the items do come, because you'll be like, oh yeah, I really like this item, oh I like that one too. You won't be like, oh god, I've ordered so much stuff, I've spent so much money, I actually need the money for my petrol for my car to get to work, but I don't have the money, so I'm probably going to have to try and return all these items because I can't actually afford them, you know. So yeah, I hope this helped you all with your online shopping, and if it did, do give this video a thumbs up to let me know that you enjoyed it and it was useful. If you'd like me to do any more videos like this in terms of tips and online shopping, do let me know and I will do those for you guys. So yeah, I will catch you all in my next one. Bye!